All right, this is an important week if you're thinking of buying a new car or a car shark. Just to go on that same theme, many dealers are racing to clear out the 2013 models. That means they're willing to negotiate. Jim Ellis is assistant managing editor for Bloomberg Business Week and joins us. Good morning.
Good morning.
So December 31st, usually the best day of the year to buy a car. Why?
Usually because, first of all, you've got all these cars that are 2013, so they're going to be a year old a day later. Psychologically, a lot of people think, oh my God, that car is old, and it's more difficult to sell it. The other thing is that you're paying interest, what they call floor financing, to keep those older cars on the dealer's floor. So they want to get rid of those. The last reason is that there are a lot of incentives for dealers to unload things. But what happens is the manufacturer sets up quotas that you have to sell for the year. If you haven't made your quota yet, and you'll get big bonuses if you make that quota, you will do almost anything to move metal now.
So what's my strategy if I'm looking to buy a car right now? What should I do?
And he is.
By coincidence.
The first thing, you need to look for a dealer or someone who wants to sell. One good way to think about that is sort of look who was open. You know, normally dealers aren't open on Sundays. A lot were open last Sunday. Some people are actually even open on New Year's Day. They're usually not open on holidays. Those are people who need to make a number. Those are places you probably should think about going this week.
There might be a clearance sale going on there, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And does it matter about the redesign? You said, you know, if you buy it one day later, then it's older. But if they don't change the design, does that matter? Well, it's so frustrating, Jim, to buy the car and then they redesign it.
That's one of the things you have to worry about. Models are going to be different, like a Toyota Highlander or something like that. You know that you're going to probably be unhappy if you sort of run in there. So it's a question that
Can you ask them, are you planning a redesign?
Well, you can ask them, but most likely you should do your own research on that, because a lot of people will do almost anything to sell a car. They'll say it's not much of a difference. They'll tell you they're not in stock yet or whatever. You have to get out there yourself and use the internet. That's one of the great things. One of the great changes now is that you can actually be a participant in this as opposed to someone who has to listen to anything a dealer says.
Where do you stand on leasing cars?
Leasing is, it's good for some people. It's good if you really are not going to put a lot of wear and tear on a car. It's also very good if you are not going to put a lot of miles on a car. But what's happened over the years is leasing used to have a fair number of miles you could put on an annual basis, up to 15,000. Now, for a lot of low-price leases, it's down to 10,000. That's a significant difference. And if you're a person who's sort of a commuter, or if you're a mom who does a lot of things, traveling soccer teams, whatever, you're going to have trouble staying under that number, and the penalties for going over it are very high.
If you're lucky enough to be able to pay in cash when you're buying a car, you say, and this is interesting, you say never let the dealer know you want to pay in cash.
Don't say that up front.
Never.
Because the
Why?
dealer is thinking, well, maybe I'll deal with you, but I'll make money on financing the car. So what you want to do is say, well, I'm not certain if I'm going to finance or not. I may go to my own credit union, do whatever. So leave him on the hook that maybe I'll give you a good deal on the price, and then I'll make my money for the referral fee for the financing that I'll get you later on. Because they make a lot of money on sort of handing over somebody to finance and also on insurance. So they look at this as a way to grab and do multiple sales.
What's the biggest mistake people make when going to buy a car?
Well, first of all, they come up and they'll say, I want to pay, and they throw a number out there. Because if you throw a price out there, that's the floor. Yeah. And you'll be negotiating up from there. Never do that. Make them come down to you. That's number one. Number two, you make a big mistake if you come in and you say, I want a car and I want to pay $259 a month, because they can then twist the numbers around. They can do things with your down payment. They can do things with the residual value of the car, and they can make your number, but it might not be the best deal for you.
Okay,
but the Anthony, bottom line is they want to sell a car.
Yeah,
they want to do whatever.
They want to clear inventory. Yeah. Anthony, go buy a car. Come on.
You want to give me some money so I can go out and get one?
I'll answer for her, no. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
It's always good to see you.
Thank you, Gail.
You're welcome.